Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be doing some more testing against that Sahara boss because you guys let me know that you can actually buy with gold 10 extra attacks like in the regular dream realm when you're done with your basic 10 attacks. I didn't know about that, I didn't even check. So we'll do some team testing. I did one attack off video right now and I managed to break my previous record. And this is the team that I was running. And so what I tried to do is using the same heroes as the previous team I talked about in my previous video, but I moved Carolina to the first team with Viperion, who are both magic damage dealers. This way they're both going to be buffed up by the Scarlita seasonal skill, and also they're going to gain the advantage of the Thorin's damage onto the boss. And I went for Crescent Spell, because Crescent Spell sometimes will allow your magic damage dealer teams to deal more damage, and it seemed to work out pretty well here. And I'm going for Nero, but if you had Ludovic, probably Ludovic would be better than Nero in this team, and let's say you don't have Talene. If you have Talene, people have done a lot of testing still. I think Talene, Ludovic, Carolina is your best 3-man team for the second boss. I did mention in my previous video that one of the overall top scoring teams used Talene, Ludovic, Carolina in the first team, and then opted for Berial, Viperion, I think Cecia in the second team. But maybe Berial is better in the first team and just run the Talene, Ludovic, Carolina in the second team. It's kind of like you'll have to just do some experimentation with those. But basically, of course, you will want to have Talene and Ludovic together and Carolina with them, because they're all like a magic damage oriented type of team. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at my charms, because I tried to change around my mythic magic charms a little bit for my Graveborn heroes, and maybe this will allow us to get an even higher damage number. So I changed Carolina's charms to the Overloaded. Now Overloaded overall is probably not the best. Like normally I was running the Butcher charm, which I think is a really good option, getting the crit percent and a high crit damage boost. And even like Arcane Charm, I don't think that's probably as good as the other two. But Overloaded Charm has the highest potential for damage, because if you get lucky with your crits, already Carolina has built into her kit an enhanced crit rate for her abilities. So you can maybe get lucky with your crits, and then you can just run the crit damage boost here. And the haste will of course allow you to cast more frequently. But I think definitely Butcher Charm would not be a bad choice for Carolina. As for Nero, I don't think Nero really matters. I just tried for the support or tanky heroes, even Thorin, I just tried to give things which will allow them to deal more damage, like attack and ultimate strength for Thorin for his damage reflect. I didn't have a final one for the final charm, so it's just the balance charm, attack and HP. Sylvina, we just went for the attack speed and attack. I think it's probably the best option. Maybe there's an argument about like the arcane charms, but I think overall attack and attack speed would be better. Here we have on Viperion haste and skill power. Skill power will increase his damage, and haste of course will as well, so I think those are probably the best charms for him. Igor, I've just gone for the Butcher charms because it's a high damage output one. Just don't go for the Reaper charms. The execution stat is not going to be helpful in the boss fights because they will not be considered to have below 50% health, and you won't get a value out of that. So, and Cecia, we've gone for the attack and attack speed charms like on Sylvina. So those are the charms, and for Ludovic, if you want to think about charms, probably the Arcane Charm would be the best for him. The skill power and attack, he can deal quite a lot of damage, and you're not really, if you have a healer in there, you're not really going to be dying against this boss, so that doesn't matter. And then now for Scarlita, her charms, you don't want to have the Reaper charm onto her. That's important, because again the execution stat is wasted against bosses. So I went for attack and skill power just for increasing her damage. Of course, these charms are not good for all areas of the game. This is really only for the boss fights, but you want to try to get as high numbers as you can in the boss fights, so this is what I'm trying. Now what I want to try is, if you looked at my previous challenge record, I used the evocation spell on the second team, and towards the end the team ended up dying. So I think maybe we go for light tail spell and we have the guaranteed survival, and maybe we can output more damage that way. We'll take a look and we'll do some testing, or maybe we just need to get luckier with the evocation spell and survive. So we're gonna take a look at this match. But yeah, I definitely think that your hard-hitting, highest damage output heroes like Vipera and Carolina should probably be in this first team, where you have like all of this supportive, like the debuff from Thorin increasing the damage the boss receives, and the buff from Scarlita, if you have a Scarlita. But definitely if you're running the Talene Ludovic team on the second team, you should be running Carolina along with them. That would be the best. And people have said that maybe that's a little bit more of a safer team lineup, like having the Talene, Ludovic, Carolina on the second team, and on your first team running Thorin, Viperion, Scarlita, Berial, and then maybe Cisia. Probably, I think that is considered to be one of the top teams right now. And now, the top player of our district, who is Splash, who's actually in our server as well, he got over 29 billion damage. He's gonna share his team formation. He's out right now, and then he's gonna share it with me. So I'll probably even make another video showing maybe that team in action. Because, yeah, he almost got 30 billion damage, which is pretty insane. It's one of the highest scores recorded by anyone right now. So off of that 16.5 billion damage, you're not going to be dying in that team. It's just about how much damage you can output in your limited time. Now for this second team, now that we have the Light Tail spell, I think survivability will not be an issue. It's only a question of will we have the damage to beat our previous record, which is right now 21.6 billion. And you might think that's a low record, and yeah, it is because I don't have Talene. If I had Talene, then I definitely think I could be hitting 24 or above, or maybe even 25 billion. But without Talene, you're kind of going to be at quite a big like handicap against this boss. Already 3 billion damage, but the thing is only 30 seconds left. There's no survivability issues now that we have Light Tail spell, but it looks like the damage output has been sacrificed maybe too much. I think really what you want to try to do is get that perfect dream run where you can survive with the evocation spell for the damage amplification, because this is going to be, it's really close. It's really close to breaking my record, but I don't think it is going to. Yeah, it's going to be just barely short. 21.2 billion. We got 21.6 billion with the evocation spell, and we had a different charm setup. I tried changing around my charms to what they are right now. So we'll try this again. We'll go for the evocation spell. Unfortunately, Salazar is not very usable. And yeah, Berial, Talene, Ludovic. If you don't have them to Mythic Plus, then you shouldn't probably be... Yeah, it will not be better for me. But, I mean, you could do Talene, Ludovic, even without having them ascended, if you didn't have other ascended Graveborn heroes. Because, like, if you're missing Mythic Plus on a lot of your Graveborn heroes, then you could definitely run, like, a not fully built up Talene and Ludovic. It wouldn't be a terrible option. Like, I actually did Talene, Ludovic, Carolina as a second team. I tested it out, and it still did, like, over 6 billion damage, I think, just from the second team alone. And, like, my Talene is only Epic Plus, and Ludovic is only Epic. So definitely it is something you can consider. And for Talene, the magic charms you want on her are the ones that give her ultimate strength, for sure, because her main damage source is her ultimate. Yeah, so we got previously, on the previous attempt, we got almost, I think, no, we got 15.5 billion damage, I think. No, more than that. I think we got 16 and a bit billion damage with the overloaded charms on Carolina. And with these Butcher Charms, we're going to get 16.4 billion damage. So maybe overloaded is the way to go. Can't really say for sure yet. And now we're going for the evocation spell, which is risky. Because if our team dies, especially Cicia's... Actually, no, Sylvina was the one who died before. It's because we have no healing on this team. We're just trying to output as much damage as possible. So in the first team, 26.4 billion. To break our record, we would need to get... 5.5 billion here. I mean, it would be possible if our entire team survives the entire fight. Sylvina is like completely full on health right now, which is really good. Cici is almost dead though, which is not good for us at all. We need a buff from evocation spell. Please be like shield. No, it's attack speed. Cici is almost dead. She's still alive somehow. Can she survive this final burst here? 4.5 billion damage. No, Cici is gonna go down, and that is gonna be yeah, that's going to be the problem. This is going to be almost 5 billion damage. So again, we're going to fall a little bit short from our all-time record. And just to, so maybe I can't actually beat my current record. I think it's a really good score that we got right here, 21.6 billion. I'm really happy with that. So I think this is probably the optimal lineup you can go for if you don't have Talene and Ludovic, for example. And if you have Ludovic, you could replace Nero for Ludovic and just give him the arcane charms, and probably that would be the best option for you. And yeah, in this team, I was running the arcane charms actually on the Carolina, and the best ones for Viperion and Scarlita. There's no question about those. Nero just has some random healing and ultimate strength type charms, and Thorin actually had this. Thorin didn't even have the attack charms I gave him now. So I don't think Thorin's charms mattered that much. And then Igor, Sylvina. And I was running a lot of ultimate strength onto CC. I was thinking maybe that would be a better way to increase her damage output. But yeah, so definitely this is probably the ideal team. Like, I think I've done a lot of testing, and I definitely think you need to run Thorin, Scarlita on the first team, and then it only makes sense to be running your heavy-hitting damage dealers, Viperion and Carolina along with them. Maybe, like, replacing the Nero for, like, yeah, definitely replacing Nero for Ludovic would be your best choice. Your best, option. Yeah. Because Ludovic will also output more damage than Nero, and also heal up your team. So probably I would recommend that, but this is just another team that you can definitely give a try, and hopefully it can perform maybe a little bit better for you. But otherwise, you can check out my previous video, which showed you the overall probably best teams to try and run into this Setsahara boss. And to recap them, Talene, Ludovic, Carolina should always be together if you have them. Either you can run them in the second team and run in the first team Thorin, Scarlita, Viperion, Berial, Cisia, or Sylvina, Cisia, something like that. Or you can run Talene, Ludovic, Carolina in the first team with Thorin and Scarlita, and in the second team run Berial, Viperion, and Cisia. But really, in terms of a priority list, if we look at the heroes that you'll want to run, if you have the Celestial Hypogean heroes built up, you will definitely want to run them. No question about that. And for the Graveborns, really the top performing heroes are Thorin, of course, in the first team for the damage debuff onto the boss. Carolina and Viperion, they deal the most damage output of any hero. And then Ludovic for the massive healing, especially paired with Talene, is like the dream combo. And also he has good damage output. So those are really the key Graveborn heroes you'll always want to be including in your teams. Cisia as well is probably one of the next ones, because she has a lot of damage output throughout the fight with her summons and things like that. And yeah, avoid Salazar unless you have nothing else built up, then you can try using him. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Just wanted to throw this in here, and also to let you know that after doing the 10 attempts, you can do 10 more attempts by spending gold on it, and it will be worth it just to try to get high ranking if you're going for that high ranking for like the frame or whatever. So I'll probably save my attacks for right now, and then we'll probably upload another video when I have Smash's team and we can totally analyze that replay, because he really did get a high one of the highest scores we have seen in this boss so far. 29 billion? Exactly 29 billion. Like, it's beating the rest of our district by like over 4 billion damage. But I'm really happy with my score. I don't know what Soraka, or this player, what previously this player was named Soraka, but now they've changed to some different language. The one right above me. Don't know what he is using. I wonder, because his score doesn't seem in the range that he's using Talene. Maybe he's just using Ludovic instead of my Nero, like in the team, the kind of comp that I'm running. But I think, yeah, that's probably what is happening. And in order to get to the top 20, we should be hopefully safely in the top 20. My district is not too hyper competitive. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And until then, everyone, peace out for now.